What's up, everybody? It is Sanchez 405. Welcome back to On the Warpath. If y'all are new, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications anytime there's new content. I can actually say on the channel, and always like, comment, share this video out because we've got a special one here for you. We've got the round table, the triangle table, the square table. It doesn't really matter. We've got a table here, a virtual table, no mask required. I've got some of the heavy hitters here in the YouTube community coming on here. We're going to talk Washington football draft, first round. We got a little bit of other stuff, like we're smelling new flowers and everything. So I will introduce them. The first one, you know very well. He's a good friend of the show. He's been on here before. All these guys have been on here before. But the man from Chicago needs knowing the John Bostic hater himself, Mr. Nati from DMVSportsZone. Nati, what's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, Corey?
I'm doing well, brother. I hope you like that intro. I was thinking about it all day long.
Yeah, I did. Especially the John Bostic part.
Yeah. The man who made Andy Dalton defecate himself. But anyway, for our second panelist, we have on here a gentleman that has, you can put him in the wheelhouse as the Trey Lance hater of the year, and he will give you every statistic, and he will make you believe that he is a bust and he doesn't need to be drafted high. But JD from the Washington Football Report, formerly of Redskins Rant, and I bring him on here as well. Where you at down there? Okay. Yeah, boom. There we go. Now go. What's up, JD? How you doing, man?
Good. How you doing, Corey?
Doing good, man. Hey, can't complain. And y'all, we're going to get rapid fire here real quickly, and we're going to get into the news of the day that Washington has agreed in terms with the Miami Dolphins to bring back guard Eric Flowers. And now the details of this deal are that Washington will send a 7th round pick to them. They're flipping 7th round picks, but Washington gets Eric Flowers. Miami will pay $6 million of his salary. Washington will only pay $3 million of his salary. And I'll start with JD on this one. JD, what do you think about this move?
I love this move. I think when it comes to pick, it's a lateral move pick wise. But how do you swap 5 places in the 7th round and you end up getting a starting guard? I mean, you can't really. That's value. That's value to me. I think. What I also think this means, I think it spells goodbye to Brandon Sheriff. I think Ron is not going to do what Bruce Allen did for 2 years and what he did for 2 years with Kirk Cousins and for a year with Trent Williams. He's not going to, mess around and be like, oh, you want to just play on the franchise tag and you don't want to be here long term. Okay, we'll just let you keep playing. No, is you want to be here or you don't. And you can hear me, right?
Yeah,
you can hear me with this.
Yeah,
okay, I'm just making sure because it has 2 plugins, and I can't show you that. But, yeah, so I think what this means is we're going to trade Brandon Sheriff, whether that's a trade up or just trade for a pick with someone who's desperate and wants to go on in for a Super Bowl this year. That's what I honestly think of that. I honestly didn't know until someone commented on my video. It might have been on your video, one of the two, that I thought we were paying whole $10 million, which I still think is a pretty good value. But the fact that was me. $3 million is incredible. So, and I don't think we're trading for a backup. I don't think so. We could have drafted someone in the 7th round for a backup.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're trading for someone that's going to get minutes. It's going to push to start, maybe not start right away, but definitely push to start. And they're anticipating him competing for a starting position, not filling the depth. So,
yeah. So not to
mention it's good next year because if he sucks next year, he only costs $1 million to cut.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good in the future too. So very low risk, very high reward, which is so wrong. So
yeah. Nati, I think everybody's thinking this is a good move, man. And what did you think? What were your initial thoughts when you saw the news today that Eric Flowers is coming back to DC?
I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I'm the one who's lagging on my end. I know we talked about that off camera, but no, I'm excited. I like the move. Eric Flowers was a pretty good left guard for us in 2019. We did not want to let him go. We did not want him to sign that long-term contract with the Dolphins, but he ultimately did. But we got him back, and we also, that we were pretty much in a battle with the Dolphins that offseason to pay him the most money. The Dolphins ultimately paid him the most money. and we got a good return because we're only paying $3 million for him next year. So I think it's a good all-around move. Like JD said, just a swap of 7th-round picks, so really nothing that we're giving up.
Yeah.
And I will say this, though. One of my first thoughts after the move was bye-bye Brandon Sheriff, right? After 2021, it's kind of sad because I know Corey and I, we've had our talks in the past about the best offensive lineman on this team, and I've always been a
Morgan Moses.
huge no. Look up our run game when Brandon Sheriff is out of the lineup.
Chase Roulier is the best offensive lineman on this team.
Chase Roulier is solid, but Brandon Sheriff, there's a reason why he was an All-Pro selection. First one since 1996, and that was a punter back then. So, but I mean, I'm still holding out hope that we're going to resign him, but with the way things are right now, we still have Schweitzer in the lineup. We still have, or on the roster, we also have Sadiq Charles, who could potentially contend for one of the guard spots, if not a left tackle spot. I just think Brandon Sheriff stays in DCR number, which is kind of sad, given that he's been the one constant in all this turmoil over the last couple of years.
So we've got another guy that's coming on here, and somebody who else is familiar. And this is a tease because I didn't tell y'all about this because we didn't know about it. But the man who helped us with building on the Warpath into what it's kind of become here, Mr. Amir. What's up, Amir? How you doing, brother?
Amir.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
I mean, we get to see him. He's not hiding behind anything. And good to see you, brother. Shout out in the comments real quick. What's up, Chris? How you doing, brother? Fuzzy Panda, Franklin, Asan. I said Franklin already. Luis, how you doing? Protect, Tony. What's up, dog? And who else do we got? B Nizzle, of course, the wise sage B Nizzle. Y'all need to go check him out. And somebody said, "What's up, everybody?" I said that already. What's up, family? Anna up in the house as well. The First Lady Warpath is in the house, and Washington diehard fan as well. I will kind of get y'all's comments. If I don't get it, Casper, what's up as well? But Amir, you may have heard already. We talked about this. Eric Flowers is coming back to Washington. What were your initial thoughts on that?
I loved it. I loved hearing it. I woke up to it this morning, and I absolutely love the fact that he's coming back. We wanted him back in the first place. It was a solid trade. It's just swapping picks, and we get him on a steal of when it comes to the cap space.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what's crazy? They call him Riverboat Ron, but I haven't seen a lot of riverboating when it comes to these like picks and stuff like that and getting free agents. He's calculated. He's the card counter Ron, more or less. He's next level, dude.
He's Riverboat.
He's still Riverboat, man. If you think about putting in McKissick and these guys that we were just like, these guys were going to be role players. Nobody thought Peyton Barber was going to make this team. He got rid of your top 2 running backs before camp even started. Well, Peterson was already in camp, but you got rid of your top 2 running backs, and this guy's like, hey, we're going to roll with a former wide receiver, a guy who's a converted wide receiver, and a reject from Tampa as my tailbacks.
I really don't. To be fair, though, I don't think he anticipated winning the division last year. I thought he was just going to play and let a lot of guys on. This is what I mean, riverboat. He's not like risking anything. Where he's got these guys on low budget contracts that aren't cost a lot of money. That at any time we can pull the chute and bail on a lot of these. Like for example, Eric Flowers. We just swap picks. We're spending $3 million this year, and at the bare minimum, if we don't like him, we can just spend $1 million and get out of it next year. So that's what I mean by like not really rolling the dice on like big, like he's not going and pushing all his chips in and going for that big like signing. He's calculated to sign. He signs at the right time. He's more like a card counter to me. When it comes to free agency, maybe on the field it's different. That's maybe where it gets his nickname. But we are calculated right now. It's very nice. It's like, and now I know how other teams feel. I really do. Watching their team make smart moves and grab and get really smart picks. I really know how other teams feel now. It's kind of euphoric, really. So
I will say this though. I mean, Ron Rivera did whiff on the whole like Amari Cooper situation last offseason, and he was trying to get. I mean, from all the rumors, he's trying to get Matthew Stafford as well this offseason. So I feel like he's still Riverboat Ron and trying to make those splash moves to improve the roster. But I do agree with you that he's not just dishing out money left and right like we used to do in seasons past. I think he's making calculated moves, but just like if he finds his guy, then he's going to go after him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you there, Nati. And you know, the essence of being Riverboat Ron is, I think there's an on-field version of him, and then it's the ability to kind of like, I'm gonna entrust these guys with, like Logan Thomas, right? Ain't no way in the world if this was us right now last year and said, well, Logan Thomas is our number one tight end. If we had sat here last year and said, he's going to be our number one tight end, we just need to get Logan Thomas help for next year. Nobody would have believed. They would have all looked at us like we were crazy. But that's where it is. And I think that goes into that riverboat mentality. What's up, Ready Red? How you doing, brother? We got Cowboy fans in here. It's great. King Ivo, what's up? Got Ravens fans in here now. But I think Riverboat Ron, it's good. It's sensible. And to be honest, I'll say it like this. It's none of our damn business what they do at the grand scheme of things. And I like that. I like that there is like, oh, they could go this way. They could go that way. I've talked to two people. I talked to Scott Jackson. And I talked to Scott Abraham last week. They don't believe Washington's going to trade up in the first round. But everybody else is like, oh, well, this might be a first round trade. I don't know. So we'll see. But we will get into it. We're going to get into why everybody's here, though. The draft. Draft's coming up on Thursday. First round, 8 o'clock, ESPN, NFL Network. I will be on the ISN with Micro Mike and all those guys. So come on over and follow us over there. But Washington has a variety of needs. We talked about linebacker, offensive tackle, quarterback. I think they're going to go defense. I think they're going to stay pet at 19. So that'll be my second question. Does Washington stay or move from 19? And if they do, how do they do it? I'll start with Amir this time. What do you think they're going to do? And they can't trade up for Jamar Chase.
No, we're not doing that.
Okay. You got that, B Nizzle? We ain't doing it, brother. We ain't doing it this time.
We're not doing it. Not doing it. At least I'm not doing it. So I think, in which I sent you my mock draft,
right?
Corey.
Mm-hmm.
And we can go over it if you want. But at 19, they do stick at defense. It is possible with a player that I would hope that they drafted at 19 or that they'd take in the first round. Mm-hmm. It is possible that they can trade back if a trade is there. A trade may not be there. So we can't just speculate that, we should definitely trade back and get all these picks. It may not be there. And so then take the player at 19. It may be a little bit of a reach, not too much of a reach. But my pick for 19 is Zaven Collins.
Okay. All right. What about linebacker. You, Jay? Yeah, from Tulsa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. JD, what about you, brother? What do you think as far as do they trade up? Do they trade back? I know you said trade back in your mock draft, but apparently that kind of you thought that was going to throw you off the wheels with this trade. Do you still think they're going to trade back?
Yeah, what's going to happen is I believe that what I truly believe is that Cleveland Browns or Jacksonville or Jets, one of those three, are going to want to trade up and get a good middle linebacker. So someone's going to trade up and try to get Micah Parsons. Mm-hmm. And Washington will trade back and we'll get Koromoa and some picks and we'll be perfectly happy with. I'll be happy with either one. If we stay where we're at and get Micah Parsons, I'm ecstatic. Behind our defensive line, he's gonna win the Rookie of the Year getting tackles. It's gonna happen. But I'm also think that Koromoa is maybe like 1B when it comes to middle linebacker. He can play middle linebacker too. So I think he'll do the same. I think we'll be good either way, but I think we'll trade back to one of those key spots and we'll accumulate another pick or two later in the draft. I really do.
Okay. And Nati,
I think some teams are more desperate than we are. I don't think we're that desperate.
And Nati, before I get to you, I got three things I got to take care of. Jessica, what's up? Third down, how you doing? Who else was that on here? Hawk, what's up, brother? DeMarco, how you doing? And Redskins 007, the man who always hangs out with us during the live stream during regular season. Thank you for the $20 super chat, my friend.
Dude, you got to take off your hat now. That's not what happens when someone tips you.
No, that's not. You get a salute from me. But I appreciate
all
you.
right.
Our team is in good position to win the division. Defense is sick. HTTR. I cannot read. Cheers to the group. Yes, indeed. And then we bring in another person to the group, and he was in the comments, so it's not a surprise. Everybody's favorite cousin. My cousin. My little cousin, believe it or not. I can call him that. So we're about like 7-8 months apart. Cousin Dewayne.
Hey,
He goes up. What's up? The man is making it happen on Twitch. So, and he also has a YouTube channel now, which I subscribe to. I was subscriber number 2, just so you know. And check him out on Twitch. His link is in the description. So if you have Twitch, go over there and follow him. You get some good content from him. And I did this because the damn Washington Wizards aren't playing today, so we had to get it. So. But I'll go back to you, Nati, now, and Dewayne. I'll give you 2 questions.
Okay.
And Nati, what do you think? Trade up, down, and who are you looking at there?
I mean, if you asked me a couple of weeks ago, I would have just said stay put. But the way the team's constructed right now, and the fact that we went out and traded for Eric Flowers to solidify at least our guard positions for this upcoming season, I kind of think if one of the top 5 quarterbacks, not named Mac Jones, because I would not trade up for Mac Jones, even as a Bama fan, if one of the top 5 quarterbacks falls to number 8 at the Panthers pick, I think you got to trade up, right? We all saw the on Twitter today with Ian Rappaport taking that picture, right, with the whole Wassa football team mock-up in the back and pick number 8, and we all try to say something about that, but I'm not going to put too much into that. All I'll say is that when Trey Lance or Justin Fields especially falls to number 8, I think we got to trade up. You know, all of our young guys on defense, sure, you know, they're really young. We don't have any aging veterans or anything really. But they're all on contracts where, you know, you're trying to win now, right? Because in a couple of years, Jonathan Allen's going to be up for a contract, Deron Payne, all these guys, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, who probably, if we're going to be honest, might get paid $30 million a year at that point. I mean, they're going to be really expensive. So I think we got to win now. And quarterback is really the position, our biggest need, right? Outside of linebacker and left tackle. But yeah, I think trading up to 8 for one of those top 5 quarterbacks, if one of those quarterbacks doesn't fall to 8, and a guy like maybe Micah Parsons, although I worry more than other people, I guess, about his off-the-field concerns, pretty problematic there, especially after we just had a guy in Dwayne Haskins who's super immature and we drafted in the first round. But maybe a guy like Christian Darrisaw from Virginia Tech, although he's rising on some mock drafts that I've seen. Maybe some other linebackers in this draft like Xavier Collins, or maybe we can trade back and potentially get one of those wide receivers like a Rashad Bateman. I mean, Devontae Smith at 19 would be absolutely perfect in my eyes. I know a lot of people don't like drafting a receiver in the first round, but Devontae Smith is the real deal, and him alongside Terry, Curtis Samuel would be really good. So that's my thoughts.
All right. And Dewayne, I'll ask you this. I'll ask you these 2 questions. So, and we'll go rapid fire with this. Eric Flowers coming back to Washington. Give me your quick thoughts on that.
I think it's a great trade, especially getting a late round pick for somebody who you knew you had here prior, and he was successful. He's a guy that you tried to keep here and you weren't able to. And the only reason you weren't able to keep him was because of the state tax in Florida. That was it. That was the main reason he did not resign, because of the extra money that he was going to get in Florida. So
he's from Miami too, right?
Yeah, he is. But but that state tax made a huge difference, and a lot of people knew
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be making $4 million more without that state tax. If you make the same amount of money, I mean, he was going to get 8 here, got 10 there. You're probably still making $2 million more because of the state tax. Yeah,
exactly. And people discount that, but people don't realize that that's a huge deal to athletes. That state tax. If they can play in Texas or Florida, hell yeah, they're going to do it. It makes sense, you know. So yeah, I love it. I love the trade. I think it makes them, it allows them to be more flexible at 19 because of that trade. Because a lot of people had Vera Tucker lined up there. I don't think that's the pick anymore. I don't think so.
No. I think. And the second question I'll ask you, and I think you kind of answered a little bit. So, staying put, trade up, down, and who you got?
Okay, so if they stay put, I think the pick is Darasol. Now, if they trade up, there's only two players that I would trade up for, and I'm not a fan of drafting players from this school, but it is what it is. But Justin Fields and Micah Parsons, that's it. Those are the only two players I would even remotely think about trading up for. Other than that, you stay put. You stay put and you ride it out, and you take what the best player available at 19.
And I said I stay put at 19, and I sent Dewayne my mock draft, and I was like, y'all know how I feel about mock drafts. Not the biggest fan of them, but I'll do them. And I took I kind of read Zaven Collins after listening to a couple of people and listening to him about this player. I was like, okay, I'm gonna step away from Zaven Collins because he's looking more like a defensive end than he is a linebacker.
270.
At 270, I went with JOK. I took him, and y'all know I've hated on this guy, but I sit there, I listen to DeQuell Jackson, listen to London Fletcher on Travis Thomas' show last couple of days, and they were like, they like what this guy is. He's the new breed of linebacker coming into the NFL. Fast, quick, he can play. If you need him maybe to play a little bit of safety, and he can cover. He might still need to put on a little weight because he could get run over, but that's not the NFC East. The NFC East isn't this bruiser division where you're running power football. I mean, maybe Zeke, but Zeke got scared of John Allen and fumbled that ball on Thanksgiving. If that does that memory serve me right? And Cole Holcomb lit him up like a Christmas tree. So I mean, it is what it is, though. But I'm not gonna be petty about that. What's up, Spam Edits? How you doing? Who else we got? Merrill, the OG is in the house. Merrill Garrett, y'all. I'm gonna tell you something. Merrill and I, we text about different things about the team going on. This man was hot as Hades when he found out that trade went through. He said this was a fireable thing. I'm sorry to call you out, Merrill, but I just think it's a funny story. I'm not doing it to throw shade, but I texted him after we found the details of the. I said, "You good now, brother?" He's like, "Yeah, I calmed down after hearing the number." I said, "I know you would." Frost Below 40 says, "I think we should pick Bolton or JOK." Vera Tucker says, "Infinity One." What's up, No Fake Boys? How you doing, brother? Okay, I think I touched everybody. If I didn't touch you or say hello, I don't think, because that's legal. So allegedly, I don't want to touch nobody. But anyway, that was terrible. So I think that this entry, because I don't know if a lot of you saw, but on Twitter, I think there was a report that the Patriots and the Panthers have frameworks down for a trade for that pick. So the Patriots might move up into that 8th spot. And so do you think if that happens, do you think Washington's going to play leapfrog there and see if they can get in on that action? Let's start with Dewayne on this one. Yeah, go ahead.
I do not see Washington trading up that far. I think Washington is in a situation where if they decide to wait a year for that quarterback, they can do it, unless you're taking Davis Mills on day 2. The one player I've kind of started watching film on, which I'm completely out on at this point, is Kellen Mond. I don't want no parts of him. And Washington fans, you should not want to touch that man. He doesn't have it. So I think the pick, if they, like I said, there's the two people I'm trading up for, and truthfully, I don't, and had made this comment earlier when I was running through mock draft. I truthfully don't want to go further up than 13. I don't want to jump into the top 10 to grab the quarterback. Yeah. I don't. It doesn't make sense. If the Eagles pass on Parsons or somehow, some way, Fields is available at 13, you trade up. You go get him. But other than that, no. You Washington, you guys should not want that trade up. And I need to say one thing as well. B Nizzle, I see you in here. Thank you, my friend, because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have done what I did. So I definitely appreciate you on that. But other than that, yeah, that's all I
Yeah,
had
about
with that
time
one.
you finally did that.
I know. I give
That's
B
it.
Nizzle all the credit.
Hey, I pushed you too.
You did.
I pushed you too. B
but
Nizzle pushed both of them.
Yeah, but B Nizzle said if you next time I see you,
Yeah.
you better be up and running. I'm up and running.
He is up and running, man. It was like night and day too. It was night and day when I saw it because when I got that invite on Facebook, I was like, and I told you it was easy too. Did you go on the website? See, I told you.
I got all of it.
Yeah, man. You out doing the business. You a businessman.
Yeah,
but
man.
what about you, Amir?
It just depends. For some reason, I am getting this gut sinking feeling that they might trade up, just the way that the roster is shaping, the way it is right now with the trading for Flowers, the expansion, not expansion, with the 5th-year option on Payne, what they did in free agency. I don't want them to, but for some reason, if they believe Trey Lance is their guy, then they believe Trey Lance is their guy. But doesn't mean I do. I don't agree with it personally.
I hear you.
So I'm staying put.
Okay, and so y'all buckle your seats up because you're about to get a lesson. I don't really have the I don't have a laser pointer for you, JD, but if you had one, you could do it because this man's made PowerPoints on why Washington should not trade Lance. I recommend you go and check those out. So
I got 'em right here.
so what are you thinking? Go ahead and I'll let you double down and give us your Cliff Notes version of Trey Lance and why Washington should not pursue this cat.
Well, to answer the original question, I don't think they trade up no matter what. I think they stay where they're at or trade back. And my solution at quarterback, the more I watch him, the more I think he would actually do well 1 year sitting behind Fitzpatrick, and that's Kyle Trask. I think Washington can get him in the 2nd round. And the reason why I wouldn't draft Trey Lance is, first off, the first thing is his competition. He played no one good, and the best team he played was James Madison in the national championship game, and he was 6 for 10 passing in that game for 70 yards. Not exactly a glowing endorsement to be in the NFL. He only has 4 games where he threw over 200 yards. He has
what were his rushing stats?
I don't care about his rushing stats. Only one quarterback that's a rushing quarterback has won Super Bowl in the last 40 years, and that's Russell Wilson. His rushing stats to me don't matter.
I wouldn't call
running
quarterback a rushing quarterback.
I'd say he's more of a rushing quarterback than anyone else. Can we agree on that? He's more of a rushing quarterback than the last 20. You got Tom Brady's got 7. The Manning brothers got 4. You got Ben Roethlisberger's got 2. Aaron Rodgers got 1. Patrick Mahomes, Nick Foles, Drew Brees. So there's
Cam Newton took a team in the Panthers to the Super Bowl. But he didn't have, so he had the defense, right, that Washington's building right now, but did not have the receiving core that Washington has.
Our receiver was terrible.
It was terrible. It was one of the worst I've ever seen.
My thing is with Kyle Trask, though, he looked terrible in that
one bowl. Okay.
But hold on. Let me hold on. Time out now.
Finish, but go ahead.
That's fine. But let me just say this. I'll get back to you on Kyle Trask. One thing is he looks slow, and then you've got when Kyle Pitts was not playing in that game, it seemed like he fell off. But I'll let you go back to what you were saying.
Go back to this. So in 16 games, he got 28 passing touchdowns. That's he barely got. That's not even more than one a game. It's 1 point something a game. And if you look at Kyle Trask stats, I can go over his stats. He had 1,500 more passing yards in 4 less games. He had 15 more touchdowns in 4 less games. He played in a better league. He played guys that are actually going to be playing on Sunday next year, not guys that are going to be bagging groceries and working for Safeway and things like that. He actually played legitimate talent, Kyle Trask did. So if you're going to I get that he didn't play. His last game wasn't the greatest, but if you're going to be honest, let's look at Trey Lance's last game where he was 6 for 10 passing. At least in that game, when he goes out and plays glory, he still has over 100 yards passing. I'm not sitting here saying that Trey Lance cannot be an NFL player. That's not what I'm saying. I just don't think he's a first rounder. If he was a second rounder or a third rounder, there's no discussion here. You draft later after the first round for potential. But if he had to come on a team and start right now, could he do it? And I don't think he can. Not with these stats. And everyone talks about his rushing stats. He's rushing against horrible teams. There's not a guy here that's going to go in the first 4 rounds of the draft on any of the teams he's playing here. So he's outrunning guys that aren't very good, that aren't going to be able to catch anyone. Any other quarterback on the roster in the draft this year played against this schedule, they're going to probably put up over 5,000 passing yards. If you play out Kyle Trask's stats and play them out for 16 games, he's throwing for almost 6,000 passing yards and over almost 60 touchdowns. So the competition you play does matter, because a lot of people are saying like his rushing and this and that. If I go out and play against Pee-wee guys and I'm playing against Pee-wee kids and I'm like running them over, it doesn't make me a great player. It just means the talent I'm playing is not great. I think he has potential, but I just don't think he's going to be a first rounder. I think someone's going to reach way too much on that and is going to bust out hard, and I don't want it to be us. I think Washington is not in a place of desperation. Ron does not have desperation at all in his face, and he's gonna wait and buy his time and get the right guy. And I don't think trading up for Trey Lance is that. I think he recognizes who he's played, and that's how we're gauging him.
Yeah, and to your point about Kyle Trask, I mean, granted he's in the SEC, but a lot of these teams that he beat were unranked opponents. I get the quality of opponent, like so. I get where you're coming from, but like it's still go ahead, Dewayne. Go ahead, brother.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
When it comes to Kyle Trask, look, I am not a fan of SEC quarterbacks because they generally do not succeed in the National Football League. Alabama has been one of the best teams in college football consistently for like the last 15 years. And name me one quarterback that's come out of that school and succeeded. You can name me about 7 to 8.
I can name you a quarterback, Joe Namath.
We can say the same thing about Ohio State.
Absolutely, but that's to your point. But that's to your point where you just said, well, they're playing against NFL players, like caliber players. What does that matter? It doesn't really matter if. Yeah, congratulations when you're throwing to
Joe Burrow was in the SEC.
Hey, like I said, there are rarities.
Cam Newton was in the SEC.
There are.
You just said Cam, but to your point, you argued that Cam Newton didn't win anything, though.
I didn't say it was a bad quarterback. I didn't say he didn't win a Super Bowl. Everyone knows there hasn't been a Super Bowl winner. That's what I said.
Well, personally, you might hate me for this, but Cam has been majority outside of his MVP year. He's been average. Sorry,
I agree with you there. He's sub 60% completion percentage.
Yeah. So I mean, for the most part,
his whole career,
your SEC quarterbacks, those aren't your star quarterbacks in the league. That's just being truthful, So that Kyle Trask argument, like, bro, like it's cool. I'm not saying that he's not better than Lance. I personally wouldn't trade up for Lance. Just saying that. Right. No Washington fan should want to trade up for Trey Lance. Just putting that out there. But when it comes to Kyle Trask, I do not see him as a starter in this league, period. Not even a little bit.
Yeah. And let me get to this. Let me get to some housekeeping here. Third down. This man's the president of the Stephen Montez. Trusted by God, Spanish Jesus, Stephen Montez. We won't be drafting a QB this year. Thank you for the super chat, brother. I appreciate you. And thanks for the support. And Stephen Montez, if I can ever get him on here, I'm going to make sure third down is the first person on here as well. And then I got another one, too. Alexander Wilson. Chris Cooley on his film set had Lance as the 4th best quarterback in the draft. He said his QB techniques and skills are top 10 worthy. He's Cooley's an evaluator, but like I said, this is all empirical and kind of like what everybody has. It's kind of funny because I'm going to bring up a cornerback, and I had him on my mock draft because I thought he would be a decent corner for us. So Tay Gowan from go ahead, brother.
I was just gonna say, like, bouncing off of this Trey Lance, fourth best QB in the draft point. I will say this: a guy that I think Trey Lance very much reminds me of, right, coming out of college, is Josh Allen, who I was actually a super big fan of. Even after his first year, where he had a 58% completion percentage, I thought he had all the tools. And I think Trey Lance is a very similar quarterback like that. Also, in the small school quarterback product, not panning out in the NFL point. I mean, Josh Allen is one of those guys. Yep. Tony Romo, okay, he never won a Super Bowl, but he was a pretty good quarterback, if we're going to be honest, taking our Dallas biases aside.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, people forget, he was going to win that MVP award before he went down with that injury in that Super Bowl winning year. He was going to win that MVP award. So I get it, since the injury hasn't been too hot, we'll see how he does in Indy, but I mean, you got to say that.
Yeah.
I think it's since he didn't have the best defense and the best offensive line in the league. I think that's what caused him to not be so good.
Yeah, I agree.
That same team won with Nick Foles, and Nick Foles hasn't done anything since then.
That's a fair point, but
sorry,
Carson
Wentz,
chiming
that in.
Oh, you're right. That's great.
Yeah. Alexander, thank you for the $5 super chat if I hadn't said that already. But I was going back to the empirical thing, and Tay Gowan, Pro Football Focus has him ranked as a second rounder. NFL.com has him ranked as a seventh rounder. That makes no this. There's no on this guy. There is no method ring. And I think at the end of the day, we can look at all the damn tape you want to. You can really look at all tape. This comes down to a human being in a fit. Because there are places, you look at Ryan Tannehill. He was okay to below average in Tennessee. He has become average and functional. Miami. Now in Tennessee, he's average and functional.
Above average.
I got you.
He's a Pro Bowler.
Above average.
Yeah, he's a Pro Bowler. Right. He's a Pro. Well, y'all, come on now. It's a Pro Bowl now. Come on now. I mean, Alex Smith could have made the Pro Bowl. He could have made the Pro Bowl last year if he had played another game. So come on, man. Y'all know how the Pro Bowl is. It's a joke. But you see what I'm saying though. This stuff is so. Everything is, and that's why I always say the NFL draft is a crapshoot, and I honestly believe it. Besides maybe about 10 players that you can think of that are going to be good. Nobody thought Terry McLaurin was going to be what he was. He was a gunner. That's what people said he was. He was a damn gunner.
Yep.
But he's a top 15 receiver in the NFL. Come on now.
The man's literally.
You always take receivers from Ohio. You always take receivers from Ohio. That's draft for number one.
Yeah, and that's so true because there are people who have Justin Fields ranked as a 5th round pick.
Yeah,
there are some GMs who have him as a 5th round pick. Some have him as a 3rd. Some have him as a 1st. That was the last question. And when I did my live stream, the last question was, why is it that GMs have? Because it's a crapshoot. It's you're playing a guessing game and hopes of this player fitting. The one round that you just need to make sure you hit in is the 1st round. After that, truthfully, you make your money in the later rounds, which I'm curious to see how we do as Kyle Smith isn't making the picks in the late rounds this year. So, but it like Corey said, it's a crapshoot. Yeah. You're hoping for the best. With this draft, I think. It's amazing how if you put the right information out there, you can make sure a player falls in your lap. So, like the player who's on his free fall right now is Justin Fields. So, yeah, it's a crapshoot, man.
It's kind of funny. I think about this at work because I'm on a search committee for a upper management position right now, and this is all it is. And the one thing that always comes into my head is, how is this guy going to mesh with, or this woman going to mesh with unilaterally with people on the same level? And I imagine this is what these GMs and coaches are thinking. Like, how is somebody going to realizes that, Steve Sims, who probably won't be on the team, but Steve likes to lick the back of the ball before he catches it or something. And it's something crazy like that. And how is that going to work in the dynamics of a relationship? And that's kind of what I'm looking at there. But we'll kind of move on from that, and we'll talk about the second round. And I think the second round is pretty interesting for more than one reason. I think, who do I had here? I had two players in the second round that I think that they should look at. One was Tevin Jenkins in one draft I had from Oklahoma State, right? And he's a right tackle, but they said he could play at left tackle as well. And then Pete Fairmouth is in my official one, the tight end out of Penn State. They call him Baby Gronk. Now, I'm not a big fan of naming players after these gods at the position, but I think he would be pretty good. You think you could put him as a number 2 to Logan Thomas, and then he can take over in a year or so? What are you thinking, Nati? What are you thinking in the second round for Washington?
No, I think Fairmouth, I believe he's from Notre Dame, correct?
Yep.
Penn State. No, Fairmouth's from Penn State.
Yeah, he's from State.
Tommy Treble was from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The fullback, yep.
I think he would be a great fit in the second round. tackle Oklahoma State, Tevin Jenkins, I think would be a good fit. I also think, I think this was actually mentioned earlier in the chat, and I mentioned it last week on my live stream, but potentially if one of those top 5 quarterbacks that we talked about earlier do not make it to pick 8, or Washington ultimately does not trade up for one of those quarterbacks, I think a smart play, much like they did in 2019 when they traded up back into the first round and got Montez Sweat, I think a smart play would potentially get a tackle or a linebacker at pick 19, and then maybe trading up back into the first round and get a guy like Davis Mills at the quarterback position. So you really cover pretty much 2 of your needs. And I like Davis Mills a lot. He was a number 1 recruit coming to college. I know a lot of people talk about how he was beat out by some bum quarterback at Stanford, but a lot of people forget that Joe Burrow was also beat out by Dwayne Haskins. So I think ultimately,
call him what it is. Some bum quarterback. Call him that. Strip Club Simba. Go ahead.
What you see at the end of someone's college career is more important than what you see at the beginning of someone's career getting beat out by a different quarterback. So I think Davis Mills would be a good fit. Has the arm talent that you want out of the quarterback position. Has the size. Has everything you want. So I think if we get a linebacker, tackle first round, trade back into the first round, get a quarterback, be a great draft.
Okay. JD, what do you think?
So if you saw my mock draft, you kind of know I had 2 things I was doing in the first round. In my mock draft, I did a trade back, so I got another second round pick, and I used that second round pick to trade back into the first round at pick 32, like the last pick, to get that 5th-year option and get Kyle Trask and then next year's second. So that was my mock draft. But the actual 19th pick that we have, I hung on to, and I think Washington should go the route of Richie Grant, free safety out of University of Central Florida. I think that solidifies our defense. The back end for sure. I don't think we really have to worry about secondary for a while. He would be a good pairing with a Cameron Curl, and I do have another linebacker I think we'll get in the later in the draft that I think Washington will get and solidify their entire defense. And I don't think we have to worry about defense for a while, other than drafting depth. And that's when I think we really will start ascending as a team, is drafting depth, not have to start guys that can go in and start right away. It's really going to catapult us just by doing that. We'll solidify our defense with Richie Grant.
Okay. Let's see here. Amir, what about you, man?
Personally, I think we stick with defense in the second round. And I have here Nati will like this. Christian Barmore out of Alabama. Because Allen is on his 5th-year option right now for this year. They have Deron Payne on his 5th-year option for next year. As we've seen with the Brandon Sheriff thing, there's no guarantee, even if you're offering them the most money for that position, that they'll sign an extension. They may be like, what? I don't want to be here. I just don't. I don't like Ron Rivera's face. I don't like his glasses. I don't like how Jack Del Rio there's a MAGA guy, whatever you want to say. So there's no guarantee that they'll be here in the next couple of years. Go back to the roots. Go back to where you got them from, and where it is perpetually a solid choice for picking defensive line guys, and that's Alabama.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Cool. Dewayne, what about you, man?
So there are a couple ways you can go about this. Depends on what they do in the first round. Depends on who you think they're going to pick. If, like I said, if there's a Micah Parsons there or Justin Fields they trade up, cool. Then you come back around in the second round. Say if you get, let's say they go the Micah Parsons route. Then the person I think they should take, who should be available in the second round, is going to be Elijah Moore, the receiver out of Ole Miss. I think that would be a solid pick in the second round for them. Another option, if they go quarterback and they want to come back and solidify that linebacker position, the person that could fall is Jamin Davis from the University of Kentucky. So there are so many ways. Even if you want to say, hey, I want to give you protection, Justin Fields, and you come back and you get Walker Little, the tackle. There's so many options Washington can go. But like I said, if they do, say they stay put, they get Darrisaw, like somebody like Christian Darrisaw, then you still come back and get Jamin Davis or Elijah Moore. I think Jamin Davis is the way that should go. And they just rely on the receiving core that they have. And they can draft a receiver later on. They still have two picks in the second round. The third round. So it's not, go get your linebacker, go get the guy go get your Luke Kuechly. And I don't mean, let me preface this by saying, I don't mean this, whoever you draft is going to be Luke Kuechly. What I mean by go get your Luke Kuechly, go get that guy that Ron can say, hey, this is your defense, call the shots, get it right, get everybody in place, and play football. That's what I mean by go get your Luke Kuechly. Because Ron didn't have to do much when it came to that defense, because Luke was boom, 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 boom. Washington needs that guy, and I think that he can do it. Now, granted, what's Buddy's name? Landon Collins. He might not want to make that move to linebacker, but his ass is making that move to linebacker.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have a choice.
So he's going to be right or out left outside linebacker. So go get your middle linebacker. Boom. Put it together.
There you go. I like that. And you kind of
just trade them personally.
You're ain't nobody
who's going to take up the contract?
Yeah,
nobody's going to take that contract.
You might get one person. We give them enough. They might. You never know. Someone took Wentz's contract, so.
Yeah, quarterback over
someone took Wentz's and Goff. I know. But I just would like to get rid of them. I like to move on. That's just me. But.
Yeah. Oh no, I think all of us would. I think, but you gotta, it's like,
takes
it's
two
like
to tango.
dealing
You
with
gotta have
that
someone to play
cousin.
ball. So.
It's like that cousin that you don't like, or not saying you, Dewayne, but
I got some of them.
Yeah, we all got some of us. Some of them we agree with, but it's just like you're gonna have to deal with them for the year. And I thought this was interesting, and I'm shooting myself in the foot because I didn't ask Scott Abraham this last week, but I'll just do a quick hand raise, and in the comments, y'all just put 1 for yes and 2 for no. Should they convert? Should Landon Collins just bite the bullet and convert to linebacker?
How do I throw like a million ones in the chat?
That's for West Virginia, Dewayne. That's for West Virginia. No, Amir, you're not raising your head. You don't think he should bite the bullet?
I would, because Landon Collins has always been pretty fast. Why not try him out at free just to see what happens?
Man, hell no.
Yes.
That man
He's never been good in coverage.
What?
Yeah.
Or why not try Cameron Curl at free?
I don't think
here's the thing, though. He's coming off an Achilles tear. You lose a lot of speed that way.
Yeah.
So that's the counter. I don't disagree with you, but that's the counter.
Is strong, and then see how Cameron Curl does it for you.
Well, my thing is, Ron probably knows how fast he is right now. We don't. So he probably sees, you're not fast enough to play the free right now, man. You need to play linebacker. We need you here. This is where you'd be most effective. Ron's a smart. That's what Ron's probably seeing. Is like, this is where you're going to be most effective if we put you at the linebacker. But if you play safety, you may not even start. That's probably what's going on right now. He's probably looking out for his best interest and trying to get the best player on the field. But he has to put him at a linebacker, or else he can't play him because he's going to be a liability. That's probably why.
Yeah.
And
you lose a lot of speed coming off an Achilles.
You got to think of it the Thomas Davis way. How do you prolong your career? Thomas Davis kept blowing out his ACL. How did he prolong his career?
He knew Ron.
He was a safety. Mm-hmm. Thomas Davis was a safety in the National Football League. Then he made the transition to linebacker and became an All-Pro.
I mean, you say the same thing about like Charles Woodson went from corner to safety.
Absolutely. You've got to know, hey, I want to prolong my career. Yeah. This team is on the uptick. Let me bite the bullet and make the move.
But there you go. That's right there. That's what you just said. It's not. He doesn't want to win, and that's my point right there.
Get paid after this year.
Landon Collins does not want to win, and I can't. Look, we didn't have this for too many times for the last 20 years of guys coming here that just want to get paid, and they don't win. They don't give a damn. You know, his biggest thing was, I thought he was going to be an X factor against the Giants. Oh, well, let's take a look at this. Let's go take a look at his winning record against the Giants. How many wins does he have against the Giants since he came to Washington? You see anything? You see what I wrote down there? Nothing. That's exactly what it is. You don't want to be – that's the thing. And like, I would sit with him. I would make I would pull the Shanahan-Hainsworth thing on it and just sit it. I would put his butt on IR for the rest of the year. Oh, you broke your toenail? And done. See you. That's it. That's what it is. If you can't do it, just pay him. Because nobody's going to trade for that contract.
Yeah. Corey, we're going to get another one of those Alex Smith stories about how the team did him wrong if he gets placed on the IR for way too long or for longer than he thinks. Yeah.
Don't get me down that rabbit hole, because that pissed me off. The fact that he actually retired after the fact. That pissed me off.
I never saw that. I forgot to.
No, I understand. It's not that. It's the fact that he retired. No, he asked to be cut only to retire. That man knew he wasn't going to get another job.
They said Jacksonville had offered him. Jacksonville offered him.
Well, it's actually good that we cut him because we'd had to pay his whole salary, wouldn't we?
No.
If you retire.
No. You would save more money.
No, you still owe the salary. It wouldn't have mattered either way.
We still would have to pay him. It's off the books. It doesn't count.
It's off the cap.
It would have counted against the cap this year. I'm pretty confident in that.
No,
not retirements, man. They spoke about it. They spoke about it.
Completely different game.
Yeah, retirement.
It was the same thing happened with Jason Hatcher years ago.
Yeah,
Jason Hatcher on the team.
Yeah, retirements are completely off the books.
So, since we're on this subject now, and I know we've just went off the rails on here, we're still talking draft and all this good stuff, but Nati, he put a good video, and I recommend y'all go check it out. And I've got one on the ISN kind of to the same thing, to the same effect. And my thing is, you cannot – the thing about this story is the 2020 season for the Washington football team, the only thing that was bad is the record, I think, in the quarterback situation. But other than that, you don't have to have a villain in a good story. Take your money – make your money, make the Lifetime video. I'm looking forward to seeing it on Disney Plus in 2023. I'm looking forward to seeing the Titanium Hope, the Alex Smith story. And you can spell titanium with 1 and 11. I don't really care. And you can put that Super Bowl that Liz had made out of his Aircast. It's good. But you can't tell this story anymore. Then you can't. He felt slighted. Ron Rivera was using common sense, more common sense than he used against the first game against the Giants. But he used common sense. This man almost died and lost his leg. And then you're going to be like, oh, I feel patronized by the coaches? And then he's like, and then this is what really got me. He said, well, they didn't realize that, I went through this military training and everything. Wasn't Ron's dad in the damn military? Like, doesn't Ron know what it's like to be? I think Ron knows firsthand what it is to be dealing with the military than Alex.
Wasn't there an E60 documentary covering his whole So the
Yes.
whole world got to know.
I know. So I don't know. Were y'all always were y'all more pissed than anything? Like I was. I don't know because I was kind of pissed, but that just rubbed me the wrong way.
I don't care. my thing about it was I don't care. He's gone. He's not on our team anymore. I think my thing is we always get onto our athletes for being fake or like lying straight to our face about everything. And the second one is just honest about how they felt in the situation. We ridicule him. I think he was just being honest about how he felt. Now, it may not, look the best for the team, but I think he was just being honest about how he felt in the moment. That's all it was. That's how I see it. And I'd rather him be honest about that so we can kind of have a little bit more clarity about what he went through than in like 10 years from now, he all of a sudden comes out with like what really happened. And like, is he just doing that for publicity or what? I think he's just being honest about what he felt. And that interview he did an interview long before he retired.
And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine with that. The first interview is fine. That's fine. This second one with SI, we already know what the story was. We know you said it. There's no other way you can reiterate that story than say you felt downside. We get it. The coaches, you felt like they didn't trust you. We get that. I'm not mad at him for speaking his mind. I'm just mad at like, leave it alone. And then here you go. We've got people who are sensitive about the name change. When he made that joke in GQ, come on, family. Yeah, this is the same people that some people are defending. And he's like, oh, the football team sounds like a drunk. Well, it's better than sounding like a racist. What kind of crap is that?
Mm-hmm.
That's being open and honest, but that's a slap at your team. So I'm going to take my team any day over Alex Smith and his bumlack. Go ahead.
I take my team. I'm just saying that as a I'm just talking in a general sense, not so much him. We always get mad when our athletes are disingenuous. They lie to us. Then 20 years later, they come out with what the truth is. I'd rather just be honest and we move on about it. That's all I'm saying. But, I get how people can be mad. I get it. I'm not mad about it. I like my team. I'm moving on. He's gone. He's not even a player that played for it. He's not on our team anymore. I'm worried about the guys here now and guys we're going to draft.
Shout out to Pedro Smith. It's over the top. It's almost like he wants people to feel bad for him. Didn't have to do another story. Exactly. And that's where I'm getting at. It wasn't the first story was fine. I say, because when I was like, oh, okay. It's like when you ever seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Captain Holt had the marshmallow. And it's the first time he had the marshmallow. He's like, right? That was me. I was like, this is pretty interesting. The second time I was like, oh, this is the same thing that you said in GQ 2 months ago. So that's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking. And I'm dropping the subject from there because I don't want my blood pressure going up. I had a doctor's appointment today. I'm good. So anyway, back to the draft. What did everybody go around with their pick? Their round 2?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go round 3 here, and Dewayne, I'll start with you, brother. What are you looking at in round 3?
I like. This is where I think if you're going to grab your tight end, this is where you do it. And I like Brevin Jordan out of Miami. I think that would be the perfect pick right there for them. Yeah, he doesn't have to come in and start. But let me say it like this: any tight end they take is an upgrade over Jeremy Sprinkle. Okay.
Let's relate any football player is an upgrade to Jeremy Sprinkle.
so yeah, I think anybody that they take is an upgrade over what they have. Mm-hmm. But yeah, go get your tight end. Why not? Why go ahead and neglect that position if you don't have to? If it's there for you, you go ahead and get it. I mean, what else are you going to? Here's the real question: what else are you really going to take? I mean, it's the perfect pick for you. He's there for you. Pull the trigger.
Okay. All right. Nati, what do you think, brother?
Yeah, I think a tight end would be a smart play if we don't already draft one in the second round or the first round. Also, if we don't get one of the top receivers, a Jalen Waddle, a Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase at 19, or potentially in a trade up, then maybe a wide receiver in the third round would be good. I mean, it worked out for us in 2019 So might as well try to hit on another third-round pick at receiver. I also think a guy like Dylan Moses at linebacker. I know he didn't have the greatest of seasons, last year, and especially as coming into Alabama, as everyone comes into Alabama as a very good recruit coming out of high school. But I'm a huge fan of Dylan Moses, and I think if he joins the Washington football team, I think he is going to definitely be one of those missing pieces on that defense, and might not be as good as like a Michael Parsons, but also doesn't have the off-the-field concerns like a Michael Parsons. So,
yeah. Okay, I like that. Actually, I did have Brevin Jordan and Tevin Jenkins at 2, so I corrected myself. And then I had a certain quarterback that my cousin said I shouldn't look at anymore. So, and that first third-round pick. So, I'll go with the guy with 2 last names. Then you convinced me on that one. But yeah, Amir, what are you thinking at 3, man?
Well, we do have 2 third-round picks. Are we just the first one?
Yeah, go with both of them. Go both of them, and then we'll go. Yeah, and same for you up next, JD. Go with the 2 third rounders.
All right. So from our first third rounder, Brevin Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
What up? The same reason Dewayne had. It's you need that supplemental tight end to go with Logan Thomas. You need someone better than Jeremy Sprinkle, which isn't really hard to say.
Mm-hmm.
That's my reason for it.
Okay.
And we all pretty much seem to like Brevin Jordan in the 3rd round throughout this entire draft process.
Okay.
For my second 3rd round pick, I do have Andre Cisco, safety at Syracuse.
Yes. I like that. I like that pick.
Kind of reason why we we're talking about Landon Collins in a way. Then we definitely need a free safety if we want to get rid of Landon Collins after next year and have just Cam Curl and the Andre Cisco or whoever replaces as the starter at free safety. Go with that. I mean, in 24 games, Cisco has 13 interceptions and 14 pass breakups. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see. I got to take care of some housekeeping before we get to JD here. AJSTP 003. Thank you for the $2 super sticker. Appreciate you. And then the man with the magical dreads, Protect Sportsman. Tony's birthday's coming up tomorrow, I think. I think it's coming up either. Or was it today? I don't know. But happy soon to be or belated birthday, Tony. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you. And shout out to cousin Justin. What's up, cuz? How you doing? Tell Whistle we said what's up too from me and Dewayne. Okay, and I'll go ahead, JD.
Okay, well, I'm going to be like everyone else and say Brevin Jordan because he was on my mock draft. The only other one I'd say we might get there if he's not available is Tommy Tremble. So I think it's one of the other. If Tommy Tremble's available, I wouldn't mind getting him there either. But I like Brevin Jordan a lot more. I actually don't hate the Penn State kid. I just prioritize solidifying the defense over adding another tight end to the offense. Brevin Jordan is my pick, though, the 10th pick in the 3rd round. My 18th pick, God willing he's there, is Jabril Cox. So imagine our defense, our linebacking core in the next couple years being either Koromoa, Jabril Cox, Cole Holcomb behind our defensive line. I think that's just a solid defense, linebacking core right there. A lot of reports say that Ron really likes Jabril Cox. I think he really likes his character. He likes a lot of the conversation they had is one of the better ones he's had with anyone. So I think Jabril Cox is the way to go right there.
Okay, awesome. Let's see.
I do want to add one thing because I did miss that second pick.
Mm-hmm.
The one person that I wouldn't mind to see Washington pick in that 3rd round, the second person is going to be my guy out of he's a Hoosier from Indiana.
Oh,
Jamar
Johnson, the safety. Yeah.
Yes. I would love that pick of the third round. He has range, man.
Yeah.
The dude has range. If I'm not mistaken, he has 7 interceptions this past season. In a shortened season, 7 interceptions. That's pretty impressive.
It's like 8 games. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So he's got the range. I would love to see Washington pull the trigger. Then that way you leave Cam Curl at the strong and just move him over to free. Bada boom. And listen, we had the conversation earlier. I had the conversation earlier. Washington's scheme does not ask for much for their corners and safeties. It really doesn't.
No.
Listen, Ronald Darby got paid because Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, and Deron Payne destroyed people.
Well,
That's why he got paid. All you have to do is do the bare minimum, and you're going to look like a star. So that's why I think that just pulls back to William Jackson, why that's such a great sign.
Dewayne, why do you? Hey, be honest too. Josh Norman.
Yeah, absolutely.
Josh Norman.
Absolutely.
Come on now. Nobody knew
Absolutely.
anything about Josh Norman until 2015.
Yeah, Ron Rivera makes corners look fantastic. He puts them in line for big paydays. That's for sure. Absolutely. Look, there's a reason all of a sudden they just pull the franchise tag back on their star cornerback. What? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on, fellas. So if you bring him Johnson in, hey man, you don't have to do much. You just don't have to be a dumbass like Troy Apke and just stay still. Like Troy Apke fast, but he literally flat-footed.
His reaction time isn't.
No.
Yeah, like what are you doing? So
But
hey,
now
all you have to do is move.
Aloe Vera back in business, man. Go ahead, Nati.
Jeremy Reeves looked he looked
Yeah.
great. What?
You know-
Who? Like, come on. But go ahead, Nati.
We all may
I was
be
about to
like-
say that.
We may be fooling ourselves. Ron may just like Jeremy Reeves, and we may not even go free safety. He may just like Jeremy Reeves. Our defense looks stellar with both of them back there.
Oh, what's
We may want to keep that.
What's old tight end's name? He played Richard Rodgers. That's one of his. Y'all got to think about Richard Rodgers, the safeties coach. I think him and Ron played ball together at UCLA too. Now, so don't forget that connection. He's the safeties coach, and he was a secondaries coach in Carolina. So there's a connection there. So Ron, like you said, Ron's listening to that guy. And it might be, to JD's point, it might be he likes him. But go ahead, Nati. Sorry, we stole that spot from you. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. No, a couple of things there. One on Dwayne's point about the Ron Rivera allowing his cornerbacks to get paid. I mean, you don't even have to go as far back as Josh Norman. Just go to James Bradbury, right? $15 million a year. Became, I believe, for a moment, the highest paid cornerback in the league, if not top 2 or 3. And he's been stellar with the Giants. But even before then, yeah, he lived up to it. There's a difference there. But with and then in terms of like the other third round pick that I didn't get to earlier. I also think a guy like Rondale Moore, if he does end up falling to the third round, is a very good receiver. I know he doesn't have the great size. He's 5'7", 180, which isn't great, but he's very shifty. And I think he would be a great fit here in DC, and maybe even contend with Adam Humphries, or maybe even back him up at least for the first couple games, and ultimately become our slot receiver for the future.
I like that. And y'all, you kind of mentioned receiver, and somebody that just keeps on sticking out to me, and I don't know why it is, but something just speaking in my spirit right here. I feel like a preacher. Cade Johnson. The guy, the guy's got speed. I think he could add something, maybe hopefully in the return game. The guy from South Dakota State. I think he's a cat worth looking at in one of these later rounds, maybe in day 3. We'll go.
I think you can get more later round. I like Marquez Stevenson. That kid's fast from Houston. I like him. I thought honestly Washington was going to go with that. In free agency. I thought Washington would get a bigger receiver, like a Juju or like Galladay, and get a big receiver, and then get a speed receiver later in the draft. That's honestly what I thought. They didn't do that. They ended up going the opposite, but I still like, that's what I honestly thought. And I thought Stevenson or Amari Rogers from Clemson would have been a good one. Like pick 4 or 5 or rounds 4 or 5 would have been a good option as well. So Stevenson, though, is the one I know is going to be available in the 5th round.
Okay, and before I get, let me take care of some housekeeping real quick. Pedro says Pete Warner is a beast. I like him at linebacker from Ohio State too. T-Ho, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Hello, Corey. See, that's how you spell my name too, by the way, folks. Just remember that. Nice stream. Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Thank you for the super chat. See you later, Jessica. Somebody said, Tim, what's up? Tim from Tim Sports Talk. Go check him out. The man's got like a draft video about people you've never heard of that probably could get drafted, and it's in depth. I had to educate him on the Mountain East in Division II, though, so just had to give him that. But no, I'm kidding. Tim, y'all go check him out, y'all. Just hit 1,000 subscribers, and he's doing his thing. Go out there, give him some love. Red Wing said we might just get Trey Boston or Malik Hooker. Red Wings. Spider Monkey, what's up? Thank you so much for the compliment. Roger says, what's up to them? Pedro Smith said, Pedro, we're just like thinking on the same thing. You're welcome. Hey, appreciate you. High Speed said Anthony Schwartz is a fast wide receiver. Look at the 4th. And from Stanford Pro Tech, Cade is good. Simi. And then let's see here. What's up, Money King Kevo? All right. So we got the housekeeper. And appreciate y'all, all 75 of you in the building. If y'all are new and these guys look new to you, make sure you go check out some of them. These should all be familiar faces for the most part. Check out Nati, DMVSportsZone right here. JD, Washington Football Report. Dewayne, his link is in the comments. These 3 guys' links are in the comments there, and you can check out Amir on Twitter at Amir_Barharlu. Right? Did I get that right? I got that. Yes, got it right. Yes. Yeah, it's only been like 6 years. So anyway, right. But go check out all these guys. Dewayne is trying to get partnership with Twitch, so go check him out, and that's in the link. Does that for which name? It's All Sports, but it's His Grace, right? I can't hear you, brother.
All World Sports, just one word on Twitch.
Okay, all right, and go check him out. So we'll go here rapid fire because we're gonna run into a time crunch. Nati, I know you had a time crunch. Did you get everything done, or do you have to go?
I mean, I do, but I can always make time for these 3. It's all good.
Okay, all right. He's having fun. So anyway, we'll go rapid fire. We'll stay on here for another 15 minutes, get it done, and then I'll let you guys have the final piece and go 1, 2, 3, and just invite everybody over to your channels and everything. So is there anybody in the later rounds, so I say 4 on down in day 3, that you're like, Washington needs to look at this guy and he can be a team, a building block for this team. I'll start out with JD first on this one. Do you have any guys?
I think Arlick Jackson. He's been starting for 4 years in the Big Ten. He's probably gonna be available 4th, 5th round, and he can pretty much, with the way he's like, kind of like the way he's sized, he can play anywhere in the offensive line. So he could potentially fill one of those spots. He could be a backup. He could be a utility, just offensive line, or he could probably maybe in the future replace Morgan Moses because he does play tackle right now. But I think he'd be a good one to pick up. I know there's another guy out of like Stanford who was injured in 2019, sat out for COVID, so he's fresh. I can't think of his name right now, but I think he'll be available in the 5th round if they want to take a chance on him in the 5th, or maybe trade with someone and get him in the 6th or something like that. But that's the one I would go with because I think he later in the round, I think Ron wants versatility. He doesn't want a guy that does one thing. He wants a guy that can do a lot of things. Just like there's another guy named Avery Williams. I think would be a very good pickup from Boise. But I think he's a 7th rounder. He can play a lot of things, special teams, cornerback. He can even be receiver or slot or whatever for possession because he's just that fast and that talented. So that's what I think we should go after in later rounds.
All right. Nati, how about you, brother?
Did you say my name, Corey?
Yep.
Sorry, you cut out. I'll give you two guys. So the first guy, Monty Rice from Georgia, I believe, linebacker. Doesn't have the greatest of speeds. Isn't super fast. Isn't super quick. It reminds me a lot of like a London Fletcher type of guy in the sense that he has a lot of leadership, and definitely seems like a Ron Rivera type guy and would definitely fit in our linebacker group. And the other guy who actually wowed me a lot, just watching him in college for Ohio State, is Trey Sermon at the running back position. I think he would be a decent find in the later rounds. And I know right now we have an Antonio Gibson, we have a J.D. McKissick, but I feel like we're still looking for that ground and pound. He's not a John Bostic. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there.
Did we break your concentration?
Yes, you did. No, he's not a John Bostic. He's better. He has higher potential. I'll say that. But yeah, with Trey Sermon, I mean, he's a solid back, and Corey, I'm not a huge fan of Peyton Barber whatsoever as well. It's Peyton Barber and John Bostic, those two guys. And I think that Trey Sermon would be a better, younger, higher potential type of Peyton Barber on this team. So I think he'd be a great find in the later rounds.
All right. Amir, what about you, man?
I'm just going to go over my final four picks here. Then I'll let you guys know who my favorite is, and then y'all react. Fourth round, Tyson Campbell, cornerback, Georgia. Fifth round, Trevin Grimes, wide receiver from Florida. That's my personal favorite. Seventh round, Jalen Moore, tackle, Western Michigan. Other seventh round pick, Jimmy Morrissey, interior offensive line, Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Go.
I had two. Honestly, your last two picks were my last two picks.
Yeah.
Hey.
So your last two picks were my last two picks, which is fantastic. I think you can't go wrong with those. Those are depth signings, and I think if you end up you're going to lose Sheriff. It's just that's a no-brainer. That's done. I think the best thing Washington could do is trade him now. Personally,
Yep.
Hey, sign and trade. Hey, you don't want to be here. There's draft capital out here for us. Let's just get you going. Something they should have done with Trent, but I'm not going to go there. But So yeah, I like those
GM.
picks. Yeah, I like those picks a lot. I think you can't go wrong with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. And go ahead. So somebody's gonna say something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say also, if we don't, resign Ryan Kerrigan, I think obviously we had the two studs, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, but I feel like we still could add some depth there. If not a Kerrigan, then maybe like a Cameron Sample from Tulsa, I believe. I've heard is a pretty good find at defensive end, so maybe look for depth there.
Yeah, I've got two nuggets, and I'm going to go over. I'll probably do a separate video with my full mock draft just for the heck of it, right? Because that's fun. Maybe tomorrow. And I have, and Dewayne can confirm this for you, because I sent this to him at, what time did I send this to you? I sent it at 4:55. 4:55. I like Jake Funk from Maryland. Depth signing for running back. Get a local boy, because these drafts, we have seemed like we've picked local talent over the last few years. So that's something valued. And then I liked William Bradley King out of Baylor as an edge rusher out there. It seems like he's got a little bit of speed, but he needs to work on a couple of things. But we even seen with James Smith-Williams, something with them two names, y'all. It's something that he could be a diamond in the rough. And when he was in there, he was kind of like, he's kind of learning his way around. So I like that's who I like on that sense. And I will go around the table, trade Dan Snyder for a 7th round pick. I'll see what the value of that would be, but I think you'd probably need multiple 7th-round picks to make that happen. Anyway, so I'll go with everybody. We'll go in C formation, but that way, this way. Anyway, so Nati, tell everybody, where can they find you? Give us some final thoughts, man, and just there you go. The floor is yours.
Yeah, on DMVSportsZone, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Instagram. Try to post some fire content here in the DMV as much as possible, especially now that I'm actually here in the DMV for a week. So I'm trying to post some good content there. Recently had a video, Corey referenced this earlier, about Alex Smith, and it's titled, Alex Smith, we appreciate you, but please stop. Pretty much captures my feelings on the whole situation there.
Amen.
But
Well,
yeah, thank you, Corey, for having me on. I'm super excited for this draft on Thursday night. And with the Washington football team, man, the future looks bright. Quarterback position obviously is the big question mark, but I think with Ron, man, unlike some fans early on last season who already jumped off the boat for Ron Rivera, I'm totally with him, and I think he's going to take us to the promised land eventually.
Shout out to Ali. I saw you in here, brother, but what's up, man? How you doing? Ramon Stevenson is a bulldozer, according to Roger. And JD, go ahead, man.
All right, you can follow my channel. It's the Washington Football Report. You can follow me on Twitter. It's WFT Report. And I also have a podcast. I released my second episode today. It had to do with my mock draft. It's the Washington Football Report podcast at WFRB. And stay tuned because I'm going to have a video. While we were talking here, I actually found something that might strengthen my argument against Trey Lance. A little teaser, go look up Tim Tebow's stats, and it's exactly what Trey Lance's stats were with less games.
Oh man,
It's exactly, dude. I'm honest. It's exactly the same stats with less games. With less games.
Enough at this point.
Well, the argument was made as a running quarterback, and the stats are exactly the same, just less games. But Tim Tebow actually have more passing yards. It's crazy. But anyway, sorry.
You're good. You're good.
What? So this little teaser. But yep, that's my channel.
Trey Lance fan club. JD is the official. We'll get him a 5 jersey in burgundy and gold once we draft him and trade the farm.
Hey, if we draft him, I'll embrace him. I embraced Haskins, and you guys know how I hated Haskins. I did not like him before that draft. You remember that?
To embrace.
3 years ago,
I know. We were
I said, take Locke. Yep. No one.
Yeah.
I didn't want anyone in that draft except for Will Greer in the 6th round, but he was he was taken way too early. So as a developer, I wanted no one in that draft.
Well, you better embrace him. You better embrace him like Dewayne Haskins embraced the poll. But anyway, that's for another day. Amir, do you have a moment, brother? Or
So
and I first, before you start, man, I just want to tell you all that Amir, this man's a champion right now, and we're thanking and praying for you, brother. Okay, and I'm gonna leave it at that. And I feel personally terrible that I haven't reached out to you directly and tell you that,
cool,
but
I'll put it up on there. My mom passed about 9 days ago. So it's been rough for a week. Also, we just moved too, so it's I haven't had time really to compress or decompress for that matter. So all that's still going on. I've taken a leave of absence from work. So
God bless you. Most definitely, God bless you.
The
draft my mom was always there to watch it with me. She was a big fan of yours, Corey. She would always ask me, "Hey, how's your Redskins friend doing? Is he doing good? Is there anything new about the team? Are you doing any new videos, hon?" It was great. She was a big fan of yours, so she always appreciated. I had a friend to talk Redskins football with.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, brother.
You guys can catch me on here. This is the only platform I'm on. It's on the Warpath. I appreciate Corey letting me be a part of this family for as long as I have been, and being part of this team and being part of this channel and the community itself, and giving me a platform to speak my crackpot theories on.
There you go. Smoke that dope.
Have a quick crackpot theory.
Go ahead. Go smoke that dope and give us a shout out to Big Simple. Thank you for sharing out this live. We lit. I forgot to do that, so I feel terrible for not doing it. But go ahead, Amir. Go ahead. I'm putting the crackpot out right now.
Crackpot theory from Amir for the
Darlene?
2021 draft. All right, guys. Number 4 is the Atlanta Falcons pick. They are looking to dump Julio Jones. What if there's some kind of magical trade where we not only get the number 4 pick, we get Julio Jones to take the money off their books for them? And then we got Trey Lance.
Take another hit and try again.
Julio and the
that's
4
so
overall
bad.
pick.
Take another hit and
That's
try
a
again.
that's a bad Juju McGuffo. But
Here's the thing: if we trade up to 4, throw in another first round and trade up to 2. Seriously, if we're gonna go all the way that far, just go all the way up to 2 and
appreciate
get
you, ProTech, for sharing that too, brother. I didn't get the notification, but I appreciate you for sharing it on the community tab. And ladies and gentlemen, I will send it the last person on here who came on here last minute to the kinfolk, because the porters don't ever show up on time for anything. We'll be late for funerals and everything, but I will let Grace's favorite grandchild go ahead on this one.
Amen.
No pun intended to Nikki or Jalen, but go ahead.
Hey, so
Go ahead.
I first of all, I appreciate you for letting me be a part of your family. It's like you let me in for like the last 30 years. It's fantastic.
Shut up.
But, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you can find me on Facebook at All World Sports and Entertainment. Please go like the page and follow the page. You can find me on Twitch. I am on Twitch all the time playing Madden. If you want to go rewatch my game from yesterday where I played for $1,000 and I won, it is up there on Twitch. So you can follow me at Twitch at All World Sports, all one word, or here on YouTube, because my streams will be on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook. I'm streaming on all 3 at All World Sports and Entertainment. Just click my name if you can find it in here. Go like it. So I appreciate the love and the support from everybody. B Nizzle, I'm definitely following your page. Most definitely, because you are one of the people that pushed this and made this a reality. I went out today. I spent almost $1,000 on this laptop I'm using.
There you go, brother.
Look, hey man.
Hey, it's baller status, man.
So yeah, I definitely appreciate you guys.
Don't call him Thug. That is not his name.
That's
his mother
it.
did
You
not
call
know
me,
it's not.
you call me.
No,
you call
Thug.
me that.
No, you Thug ugly, but you ain't Thug. But Charlie Payne says, who are we taking in the first round? Taking linebacker, brother. That's who we're gonna take. Rukashan says trade down and get more picks this draft and deep in hole. I can't say this draft is deep and we have many holes. Every team has holes, though. We're like, everybody loves cheese.
Except the Bucks.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm wrong. But anyway, as I wrap up, y'all, I appreciate everybody that's been on here today, that has been in the comments. There's so many comments in here now that I remember when we would get like 10 comments per like stream or something, and we were just sitting there. I mean, yeah, exactly. 2 of them. Yeah, it was like,
my phone had the whole thing on for a while.
Yeah. I mean, my goodness. And look at where, because of all of y'all, this is where we're at today. And this has been a journey. It's been fun. Franklin, see you, brother. Appreciate you. We've got more fire content coming to Still Line from Nati. Got some other special guests planned on here. Got some collabs coming on here. No, Nizzle, I'm not I'm just a. So, but but yeah, go ahead, check out all these guys. They're great guys and great content creators. And we love doing what we do, talking about this team, and hopefully we will be collectively happy or collectively pissed, either which way. But I will have a special guest on here next week to hopefully review the draft, and it's gonna be fun. Y'all know how I am about that. I am very guarded, and I don't let that stuff out because I'm my granddad, he was superstitious, and I am just as superstitious as all get out as well. But yeah, God bless you guys. I appreciate it. I'm your boy Sanchez 405 for Nati, JD, Amir, Thug Ugly, Dewayne. Love, peace, and hell. Oh, by the way, I got shirts. y'all can go click on the link. We got shirts that you can buy, and those help build the channel up. I've added some new stuff on here. Y'all see this? Like this. This is because of y'all. This is because of y'all. Remember that. But anyway, shameless plug. Same energy shirts, and what else did we have? Outlast the Bastards. There we go. But anyway, love, peace, and hell. And we'll be talking to you real soon. We are out. Almost. Hold on. Let me end the broadcast first. Okay. Now we're good.